But I really just wanted to speak to the moms or the entrepreneurs who are thinking about becoming moms and not sure what that looks like for your business. You can map out your maternity leave however it works for you. And this is just what works for me. Morning, happy Friday. We are 35 weeks, 3 days. I've been at home pretty much all week. I didn't have any shoots this week. I have one next week and then one more. I think I have 2 or 3 more, but I have a feeling at least one of them was gonna get canceled. So I have a lot of editing work to do. YouTube videos for clients. I put my own YouTube video. I wanted to come back to YouTube weekly, but I'm just gonna try to stick with bi-weekly if I can. But I got my hair braided yesterday. I feel like she's gonna come early. So Ray came at 40 weeks in 1 day. But I'm already feeling stuff that happened with Ray around the time that I gave birth. I'm already feeling that stuff now. Like about a week ago, I wiped and like some of my mucus plug came out, and that didn't happen to me with Ray until like a few days before. But my aunt, who's also gonna be my nurse, I text her and I was like, hey, this is already happening, and she was just like, that's normal. It's different every pregnancy. Like it could happen right before, it could happen a couple weeks before. So, and it's been a week. I didn't think necessarily you're about to go into labor. I didn't feel that, but I definitely was like, that's interesting that that's happening. I definitely feel like my belly has dropped in the last couple of days. So my last ultrasound, she was breech, so her feet was down. But I feel like she's flipped around because it was a lot more top heavy for a while, and then over the last few days I feel like everything shifted kind of lower. So I feel like she might have flipped around, and now that she's head down. I've been having Braxton Hicks a lot. I didn't have that with Ray. So, I don't know. We'll see. But right now, I'm about to start editing. I have a lot I'm trying to knock out. And then my assistant gets here in like 4 hours. And she comes once a week. So, I'm going to make a checklist for her of things I need help with around my house. And yeah, and today's also Robert's dad's birthday. And tomorrow is Robert's family reunion. So we have a busy weekend ahead. Oh, and it's Father's Day. Yeah, so we have a busy weekend ahead with our family. So I'm just trying to get all my work done before the weekend, because I just hate bringing work into the weekend, especially when it's a busy one. So I'm probably going to be here most of the morning. Just trying to finish my work. And I'm headed to what might be my last shoot for maternity leave. I am so tired. My pelvic area hurts so much. It hurts for me to pick up this leg and just put it in some pants. Like, I don't know what's going on right here, but it hurts. It feels like a bowling ball is just sitting on my pelvic bone all day, and I just feel the pain of it. I am currently 36 weeks today. We have 4 weeks left. For many of you who may not know, I am a business owner. I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for, I think, 8 years. Yeah, 8 years this month. Crazy. I always forget the day. I don't remember the day that I quit my last job, but I remember the month. I remember it was June, And I remember I quit, and then the next week I was at Essence Festival. So probably sometime next week is my 8-year anniversary. So I've been working for myself for 8 years as I like to call it creative entrepreneur, because sometimes I'm a photographer, sometimes I'm a video editor, whatever creative job I want to take at that time, that's what I'm doing. But for the most part, I've been my own boss for 8 years. And with that being said, postpartum looks a little different for me. So last time with Ray, of course, I took a break. I know typically, the ideal postpartum is for you to be off for probably like 3 months. I can't afford that. Unfortunately. However, I feel like my life gives me so much flexibility. Even if I don't take 3 months, even I can just scale back my work a little bit and still feel like I got a really good chunk of time off. And I think that's the beauty of working for myself. I can just make postpartum or whatever part of my life look like kind of how I want to, because flexibility. And I thank God every day for it, because just the simple things of like, if my daughter's school calls and they're like, hey, you need to come get her, I can get her. Like, I don't really have a lot of things holding me back from showing up for my family or just showing up in life how I want. But anywho, postpartum looks a little different for me. So when I had Ray, she was born August 12th, and I was back taking pictures August 30th. Now that, I feel, is a little dramatic. Well, even when I look back on that, I'm like, damn, girl, you didn't even take a good 3 weeks off, But I feel like what I learned from my last postpartum is that my only income at the time was taking pictures. So if I wasn't taking pictures, I wasn't bringing in any income. This time around, however, I take pictures, I edit videos, I do a lot of other creative things for my clients. So this time around, my goal is to not take pictures or not offer any in-person services for at least 2 months. But I will continue video editing because I can do that from anywhere. Today, I will be potentially having my last in-person service before postpartum starts. My goal was to work through the end of June, but 1, this is starting to hurt, and 2, I think my clients are also like, girl, go home. Like, they also they don't want to watch me suffer. So I feel like the last shoot that I have scheduled may get canceled. I do have another one next week, but I have a feeling they won't need it. So come to work with me, and this is how I am preparing myself for postpartum as a business owner. Did y'all see that waddle? Oh my God. This hurts so much. Like, ow. Every step I take, every little step I take, you will be there. Okay, let me get my daughter up.
I'm not gonna be there for you, 'cause you were never there for me. Don't go ask me what you did wrong. Ignorance will never see. No, wasn't it for me? Why don't you just let it be? I gave you 1, 2, and 3 times, not wasting my good. Once you're not on your knees, what's in it for me?
Home alone, and I wanted to chat with y'all before my whole family got back. I'm about to take a nice Epsom salt bath, because we are 36 weeks and 4 days. So yeah, we only have about 3.5 weeks left or less until this baby comes out. The last week or the upcoming week is my last week of work, and I feel like this time when it comes to postpartum, I'm preparing a little bit differently than the last time. And specifically what I want to talk about is how I'm preparing for motherhood as a mom of two, as a business owner. Because, wait, let me blow my nose because, the congestion, Jesus. This postpartum, I've been preparing a little bit differently than I did the last time. So the last time, I was a new mom, first time baby. And so, first time baby. First time mom to a new baby. There was really no maternity leave plan. I just knew like I had to stop shooting by a certain point and I had to come back by a certain point, because I just feel like I couldn't just be gone for a super long time in the industry that I work in. In the last year or so, we actually planned for this little one. So I knew that this postpartum, I did want to have a maternity leave, but I didn't want to have zero income. So this postpartum, I basically projected what would my life look like. I know I've been through postpartum before, and to be honest, it is a little stressful at first, but once you get a good routine down, it's really not that bad. The baby sleeps, the baby eats, you try to sleep, you try to eat, and you and your partner, if you have one, try to work together to make sure each person is getting enough sleep. But this time around, Robert will have a full-time job. Last time he had just came home from the military, so he was home with me. Like the flexibility we had back then where he was home, I was home, like it was just cool to be new parents and not have to work around all these crazy work schedules. But this time, he's at work full time, and I don't necessarily want to stop working, but I do want to stop shooting for a while because I don't want to have to leave my house, at least for like a month or two. Let me hop in the shower and watch my body cool down, relax, and I'm gonna come back and tell y'all all the things I've done to prepare for my postpartum this time around as a business owner. Your girl's gotta get in the tub, okay? That was a great shower. Oh my gosh, I want to sit down. But the lighting in here is so good. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm really this pregnant. This is crazy. But like I was saying, this time around postpartum, I basically want to focus on 3 areas. Income, taking time off, like actually taking time off. And I know this sounds crazy, but growing my business still, even though I just had a baby. I know. She's a workaholic. I can't help it. The mom boobs are out of control. When I had Ray, my only source of income was taking pictures. So when I wasn't taking pictures, there was no money. I feel like that's when I really realized that I was the business. If I wasn't actively shooting, there was no business, there was no money. And I feel like I've gotten to the point in being a business owner and working for myself. It's like, okay, where do we go from here? Do I just stay this, solo entrepreneur who kind of just works for myself and is a one-woman team? Or do I grow this into something bigger to where it's an actual business that can continue to run even if I'm working or not? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. As far as this time around postpartum, I am gonna still work. I just won't be shooting. I won't be shooting, but I do have another service that brings in income. So in the last year, I've started editing videos for a few of my clients, and I will be continuing to edit videos throughout postpartum, which I'm kind of excited about because that means I won't go without money coming in like I did with Ray. I feel like the reason why I went back to work so quickly with Ray is because I realized how much my income mattered when I wasn't working, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta get back to work. But this time around, I feel like I'm mainly wanting income to stay coming in because I'm also not a one-woman show anymore. I have a team. I have a team of 3, kind of 4 people. So there's 3 of us on my team. And I also want to continue to pay my team members even when I'm off because they help my business to keep running while I'm off. Editing the videos and having income coming in keeps my business afloat. And it prevents me having to tell my team like, hey, I can't pay y'all until I go back to work. And I don't want to do that. I like my team. I like the people that I'm working with. I've been working with them for over a year now, and we have a good system going, and it improves from week to week. Our system improves. But hold on, I gotta sit down. I can't stand up and talk, even though the lighting is great. Oh, I'm so pregnant. But yeah, so also what I learned from my last postpartum is staying home with a newborn baby is kind of boring. And it's very easy to get caught up in like the newness of motherhood and breastfeeding and nipples and bottles and pacifiers and sleep like it's easy to get sucked into that black hole. Me continuing to work in some capacity while I'm on postpartum just gives me some normalcy. I feel like when I completely stopped working, it made going back to work even harder. Versus I feel like this time around, if I just stop some work but continue other work, it's like I am inviting the baby into my life versus changing my life around just for the baby for a little bit, because then the baby eventually needs to get back into my world anyway, you know? I feel like behind the scenes, I want it to look like I had a baby, but up front, I want it to be like, wow, everything's still running like it's supposed to run. Like, that's my goal. Oh yeah, I actually want to take a good amount of time off. So my due date is July 15th. My goal is to be back at work and shooting by September 1st. But while I'm off, I want to be prepping my business to start taking new clients. One thing that happened with Ray is I had over 100 clients, not all at the same time. Like, they would all come and go at different times. Like, some people would shoot with me every week. Some people would shoot with me once a month. Some people would come once a year or once a quarter. And then when I got pregnant with Ray, I shut everything down. And when I came back to work, I basically only came back to work with like 5 people because I mentally didn't know how to make myself available again to 100 people, like with this new baby and husband in my life. But this time around, I actually want to come out of postpartum ready to take on new clients, because I feel like I've been stuck in this place of just exclusively working with a handful of people, and I'm at a place now where I'm ready to expand and help more people with their content, whether it be editing or whether it be taking pictures or whether it be giving them social strategy. I really desire to work with new clients this fall. So while I'm on postpartum, I also want to use that time to strategize how, when I come out of postpartum, how to market all the services I've been secretly doing for the past year and a half. So yeah, this postpartum is a little different for me business wise, because yes, I'm taking maternity leave, but it also isn't your typical maternity leave. And I feel like as an entrepreneur, life just looks different for us. I feel like a lot of people are like, girl, sit down. You should, like, I'm sure people are hearing me talk and they're like, you shouldn't be working at all. You need to sit down. You need to rest. You and that baby need to yada, yada, yada. But like, what I do is actually really fun and it's really exciting for me. And I actually
don't like to spend a lot of time away from it. So it's not like it's gonna keep me from the motherhood side. Like, I'm still gonna be engulfed in that. I have no choice. It's gonna be my world. But I feel like the beauty of working for myself is I'm able to kind of make it look like however I want it to be. And so I think it's pretty cool that I can still create some type of postpartum plan, even if it doesn't look like the typical idea of what people think postpartum should look like. So yeah, there's that. As far as my perspective on what my postpartum is going to look like for my business. Now, there are definitely other layers of postpartum as far as like products I'm using, how I'm preparing to be breastfeeding again, all that stuff. I feel like that can all go in a separate video. And if you guys want to see that video, let me know. I can kind of go over products that I'm using again, all the stuff that we saved that we're using again, and also stuff that I've saved or thought I would use but don't really work for our house that we're in right now. So the house that we're in right now is, even though it's a house, it's the layout of this house is actually smaller than my apartment was. Like, the space that my apartment was kind of like more open and spaced out, and it felt a lot bigger, and I actually think it was bigger square footage wise. So I'm also learning or navigating how to organize this house for 4 people to live in it, and it doesn't feel over cluttered or like we have a lot of stuff everywhere. So I've built out our closets. We bought this bed because you can lift up the mattress and put stuff under the bed. Like, there's things I've done to make the house more functional, even though it's smaller. So if y'all want a separate video on the other side of postpartum, as far as like how I'm prepping for my body, how I'm prepping for the baby, the stuff that I'm using, all that stuff, let me know and I can make a separate video. But I really just wanted to speak to the moms or the entrepreneurs who are thinking about becoming moms and not sure what that looks like for your business. You can map out your maternity leave however it works for you, and this is just what works for me. I don't necessarily want to be completely off of work, but I do want to not shoot and not leave my house for a while. So I will still be working. I will still be offering services that I can do from my own home and that I can do in between pumping and the baby sleeping and stuff like that. I'm really interested to see what my income will be like during this maternity leave, because last maternity leave, like I said, I basically had no income and I was only home for like 2 weeks before I went back to my first shoot. So I'm really interested to see how I map this out and the effects of it, and I can report back too at the end. But yes, to all my entrepreneurs or business owners, create your maternity leave however you see fit. If you want to be completely off work, be off work. If you want to work a little bit, work a little bit. If you have a team that could support you and help you answer emails or talk to your clients and make your business look like it's still operating as usual, you can do that too. But that's all I have for now. I'm out of breath and my family's probably gonna walk in this door any minute. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it makes sense. I hope it came out how I wanted it to in my head. But if not, YOLO. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.